Is this on? Now it is on. Alrighty. Now, we can finally get to the last few bits of underground. EA games challenge everything. That's what it was once like back then. But now, it's EA games charge for everything. Hold on. Hello, 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 hello. Trying to make sure that I guess that's good enough. Actually, no. Is that good? Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Hold on. Now I just need to see how the audio is in regards to the game capture. Because right now with the headset, it's kind of pretty loud. Maybe that's good enough. Let's see. Just doing a little test. Don't mind me. Dude, what is with this controller and keybinds? Honestly, I do not like how laggy it is. Whenever I go to those settings just to tamper around with the controller. The worst case scenario is that I do change the controls, but the problem is that every single time I boot up the game, it just ends up not saving the controls for some apparent reason. Hopefully this is good enough. Hopefully it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Some people probably may say, "Oh, but ICECADE, it's 5. Well, it's in Central Standard Time. It's 5 right now, or some other time like that. It's a little bit early." But I can see where that's going. But I like to do it early because I know if it's gonna take me a while to go through this stuff, I won't have too much of a problem just looking through this at an early timing. Like, it'll take me a few retries to play through the game, as far as I could say. Good Samaritan. Port Royal Reverse. Lowdown. TJ messed up Samantha's ride. Beat him to get it back and make amends. Alright, let's do this. Ah, damn it, I skipped the cutscene. Hold on, let's... Alright, let's do this. Hold up, is my microphone even recording? I don't think it even was. Saying was basically... What do you mean, game? What are you talking about? I don't understand. My microphone worked a few times. Nope. Get it back. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, I'm back into my wheels already, and I'm still trying to get through this right now. Nothing like a little bit of Need for Speed Underground to lighten up my day. Well, I mean, realistically, I could say it's a lot more better than trying to experience Need for Speed Unbound, per se. Yes, I'm depressed that I have Need for Speed Unbound on my library. I do have the game in my library. What is with my microphone not recording? I don't understand. I don't understand why my microphone doesn't want to record. It should be recording because I'm literally talking while I'm going through the game. I was trying to say that I was looking over at the vanilla version a few years ago while everyone was talking about it. It was by wording. Plus, one of Ultraviolet's videos, despite the fact that he's not really reliable, just like as Black Panther isn't. But I mean, I could get the idea that the vanilla version of the game is not as perfect as everyone would anticipate. No, there's still a load of problems that are pre-existing inside that game whatsoever. In fact, the thing is that I could see that as to why Unbound was pretty mediocre. Like, I get the idea now. I played through the game's main campaign for a bit, and you only have like 4 weeks to go through the events before you go to the grand for the game. But the problem is, to me, is that like just 4 weeks seems a little too short. You basically just take all the time you can before you get to the highest heat level to grind out the game to get what you need. In other words, money. Like, the progression is fine, but I'm not really a big fan of how you have to buy upgrade kits to buy the upgrade parts that you need for your car inside the game. Like, I liked it more better if I unlocked it through the progression of the game in simplistic means. That is, of course, what Underground has, what this game has. Progress through a few races and then you get some more parts. You do the same thing for the Underground 2. And sometimes you go find auto shops. Most Wanted 05 is the same thing as well as Carbon. Or, since higher risks means more rewards kind of deal, just like how Need for Speed Need for Speed Heat has it. Have some parts to win for each and every single race, and then deliver it to your place. Like I would like that, if anything. If high risks matter, or better rewards. It's not just money that you have on the line, per se, but also trying to earn parts while playing through the game. I mean, I like that when I was playing Heat before. Progression inside of the Heat was very simple in regards to unlocking parts for Sport to Super, or Pro to Sport to Super, if I'm not mistaken. But then you have ultimate parts, and the only way to win them, the only way you could earn them is by doing some night races inside of Heat. And honestly, I like that. I mean, like, I probably would enjoy that more better than this upgrade system that we currently have inside of Need for Speed Unbound. I don't want to waste the money I made just to get one specific kit of body kits. In-game currency, not my real life money, in-game currency. And then I have to go buy another car, and then I have to go from there and then, right? That's if I was playing the base game when it was released, or even after it was released, before Volume 9 existed and we never got another update for Need for Speed for a while. But, and also if I didn't have all the DLCs as well. I don't think Ultimate comes with all the DLC. The Ultimate Edition comes with all the DLCs. It just comes with the most majority. But somewhat. I don't know. It's just that, regardless of what I say, Unbound is just mediocre. Just like how Heat is. Despite the fact that I see that Heat was the most decent Need for Speed game out of the rest of the other modern Need for Speed games, Heat was the only one that was decent to me. Obviously, I hate 2015. I don't really like Payback, but I never really talk about it because I know it's just a cash grab that EA implemented in the first place.
Hey, it's me. What you did was weak. But you got my ride back and... Hi there, Racer. Miss me? What you pulled to get at Eddie made me freak. But I thought about it, and if I was in your place, I probably would have done the same. Unfreaking believable. Stuff Magazine is doing a feature on street tuners. Want a picture of your car with a hot chick on the cover? Better win.
Wrath of Eddie. To the First Avenue truck stop. Alright, let's do this. It's on. Go head to head against Eddie in a crosstown battle for racing supremacy. Win to prove you're the hottest driver on the street. Alright, that's something I could get behind. But yeah, Heat was decent out of every single modern Need for Speed game I've played so far. I did enjoy Rivals as well, despite the fact that it's just, well, a lot of people didn't like because of what it is. Just another supercar era Need for Speed. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm not really too bothered about that. I am a little bit bothered, however, as to the fact that Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 didn't have any customization. Now that I think of it, because I was talking through one of the Discord servers that I was inside of. Damn it! I skipped the cutscene again. I don't want to skip the cutscene.
Hi there, Racer. Miss me? What you pulled to get at?
Let's do this. It's on.
All right, let's do this. It's on. You know, the thing is that Eddie from this game, ever since I played Need for Speed, no, not Need for Speed. I'm sorry. Midnight Club 2. There are two characters that I'm fond of. At least a few years ago, I played that game. Not like a long time ago when I had the PS2. None of that. But a few years ago when I had the game on my PC. The Eddie reminds me now. Now that I see Eddie with just a muscle shirt on and a pair of jeans, he just happens to remind me of either Hector or Dice instead of Midnight Club 2. Boy, that was your own doing, buddy. He crashed himself out. Boy, move out of my way! Blocking the damn intersection, buddy. Trying to get past you. Nothing more or less. And that was the first try. That was the first try. The other one didn't really count because I decided to leave and see the cutscene real quickly. Come on, I'm like a buffoon for cutscenes at times. And the cutscenes in here at Southern Underground are quite quick and simple, you know? But despite how quick and simple they are, they're actually good for the time.
Oh man, you did it! You won! You won! Heads up!
I beat Eddie, now I gotta beat this 350Z. Since they're flashing their eyes at me. Actually, what the Mazda MX-5 would it do for this race? No. Probably not. The Lowdown, Legend of the Street. Whoever is driving that mean 350Z wants to take you down bad. Don't let it happen. Alright, let's do this. I don't mind about getting a challenge. Oh, I hate this track. Whether it's in normal or reverse, I hate it so badly. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I would never like to race on this track ever again if it's coming from me. You have to understand, I do not like it. This is the one track I hate the most. That is as much as I can say. Oi! Don't in my car like that and trying to flip me around, buddy. A woman. Oh, I'm still safe. Thank you for the boost. I don't know, it just feels a little bit too early to end this live stream off after just beating these three, and that's just about it. It's probably going to be difficult to try to catch up to Melissa because she's all the way up ahead. Well, at least, I mean, despite the rubber banding, at least she does not function that badly like one of those Unbound AIs where they're just ridiculously hard to catch up to in the straightaways instead of Need for Speed Unbound. Because apparently EA hired some Turn 10 developer to script the AI for that game. That's based on me saying because of how I experienced the single player. I mean, yeah, sure. Probably a lot of people are gonna say, "Why bother with single player? You got a lot more experience. You could play with better experience. You could have a better experience with online with all the cars and all that kind of stuff." Really now? I mean, really now? Could I? Because I have the Ultimate Edition bundle. Plus, I got some mods, so I don't know what you really are talking about, buddy. Can't tell me otherwise that multiplayer is better than single player. I mean, like, you can, but realistically, you have to understand that everyone prefers what they want to play. Not everyone's going to want to play multiplayer all the time. Some people are going to want to play single player just for the sake of it. I at times like to play single player games. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see how playing single player is really a big issue. I just want to play the game all to myself, and that's just about it. There's no problem. Oh, but apparently it is a problem, because unless I want to experience more better stuff inside the game, I would have to play multiplayer just to do all that. If I'm doing that, I'm doing that in Forza Horizon, because at least in Horizon, I could be able to earn some of the cars online, and then drive them offline. I'm not gonna go with the whole entire shtick of, oh, it's justified that online is the only thing that EA is focusing on, and we get the content from there. We should be glad that we have it. Like, I mean, like, yeah, sure, having new content, whatever, but it shouldn't be stuck behind some sort of bullshit thing that whatever EA plans in regards to their games. Like, you want to access the new cars before the whole entire Ultimate Edition, and when Need for Speed Unbound was getting updates. Realistically, you only could be able to access those vehicles if you were playing the game online. That's it. And talk about EA being on that bullshit. EA, regardless as to how much people are going to try to slice it, EA is just greedy. They're absolutely greedy every single turn. Ever since the start of the 2010s, there's been a lot of games that have been getting some DLCs. Which some of them, okay, whatever, because the game was already finished. Like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was already finished before the whole entire DLC thing came to be into fruition. But then you got games like Mass Effect, and a lot of people didn't like how Mass Effect was in regards to this. Like, there was some development, and then there was even more when a DLC came out, and it cost money just to buy the DLC. And if you think that's bad enough, you haven't even heard enough of what happened with EA. EA is not only just greedy because of their shady business practices and the whole entire greed aspect, but also the fact that they ended up shutting down some of the studios that worked on previous IPs before for EA games, like Maxis for the Sims and My Sims, and then I want to say Westwood Entertainment or something like that for the Command and Conquer games, if I'm not mistaken. And the studios that remain underneath EA's payroll to make more games are just happen to be the studios that EA may need in the future just to make another game. But more focused on less on the development, but more on the money aspect. Nice. We've done it.
You did it! I can't believe it! You won! You won! Is that your fantasy?
Congratulations, you've completed underground mode. Everything is now unlocked in quick race. You must create a new driver profile to start a new underground mode. Aww, I want to re-race the races. Oh well, we could do that instead of quick race real quickly. We could go through each and every single race. Because, I don't know, it's just a little too early for me to start cutting the stream off. Calling it a day. Hold on, let's check real quickly. Damn it, I can't even access that either. Magazines. It turns out that we have not gotten every single magazine cover. But that's perfectly alright. It's not really much of a big concern. As far as I could say. I'm not really a completionist. But, yeah. We could do some of these races inside of the, quick race section. We could do every single one of them and do them on the hardest difficulty ever. Oh, fuck my life. But I mean, still, I don't want to end the stream right away. It's just too early for me to be doing that. We could do this one, maximum traffic, hard, catch up is on, and then we could do like, say 4 laps for each race. Oh, I'm gonna be pissed. But, might as well, because I don't want to end it right away. Okay, it's a clusterfuck already. Oh, that was oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say that was close. feel a little too easy already because of all the AI. They're all the way back there. But then again, there's gonna be the rubber banding effect that's gonna kick in, and all the bots are gonna try to come after me. Because I smart mouth my way around all this kind of things. Except for crashing into traffic. Ow. Rear-ended my ass, buddy. It's not a wise move. You just gave me a little bit of boost right there. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't understand what's wrong with the AI. For the most part, they do hit traffic. Mind you, this is on hard difficulty with maximum traffic on. That one just hit traffic again! What? Are you kidding me, dude? They're hard AI. They should know better in regards to avoiding traffic. Then again, they're just AI. They don't know any better. I mean, if they can rubber band through these corners and take them like a champ, they should be able to at least avoid some traffic. I still won the race after that crash cam. What? I just landed on a barrier and just paused for a moment. What? Game? Are you okay? Okay. Yeah. sends out a little love tap to my rear bumper. Drifting. Stops trading some paint with me. Okay. It's 2 out of... few more down. Oh, by the way, I just want to do the normal routes, not the reverse routes. Oh wow. I mean, the 350Z hasn't gotten himself any further away from me. I'm gonna draft on you, buddy. That was close. just as simple as it should be throughout these routes. I mean, already beating Eddie and Melissa and TJ. Well, realistically, it's a little too early for me just to end the stream. It's like 5, 6 something right now. Let me see. Yeah, 6:16. It's just too early for me to be ending the stream right away just because I beat those 3. So that's why I'm gonna do the main line, like, I'm gonna do the normal route races for each and every single event. Yes, especially drag racing. I mean, realistically, drag racing could be a pain in the ass to deal with inside this game, but might as well. Might as well. Nope. Nope. Ain't getting past me, buddy. Not gonna happen. I should be playing this in the bumper cam if I needed the mirror, but I'm not. I don't know why. I guess I decided not to. I'm a buffoon. I am a buffoon. Ah, damn it. Is second place allowed? Can second place be allowed? No, I don't think so. Let's just start that one again. Fuck. What the hell is going on? Every single person's crashing to each other. Well, the S2000 is still running, actually. It won't get us, but he won't get far. That's as much as I can say. I'm catching up to this guy. Yeah, the rubber banding is just that bad. You can't do anything about it, aside the fact that you're gonna live with it inside this game. Honestly, I would take the rubber banding more than some dumb burst nitrous inside of Need for Speed Unbound. I just can't stand burst nitrous instead of Unbound. Like, I don't know who came up with the idea, because realistically, it's just stupid. It's like saying you're playing Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 and you got that power shot nitrous in your car. Or it's like Need for Speed Heat, where you activate the nitrous by pressing the nitrous button only once, but you tap it and that's when it activates. Or playing Midnight Club and you do the same thing pretty much. Or fucking Mario Kart. Mario Kart has mushrooms. And they are used to boost your car inside of your cart inside of that game. Honestly, I can't stand the burst nitrous inside of Unbound. I don't care if people think it's kind of clever or something like that. I do not like it. I think it's just pretty dumb. Plus, it could be exploited kind of a bit easy. Like, using burst nitrous can be exploited kind of a bit easy if you have some experience and you learn some tricks inside of the game. Like when you use the when you take a corner, you're drifting or gripping around or something like that. You use the nitrous when you're still drifting. And once you use the nitrous, boom, you have an advantage towards everyone else, most likely. Of course, everyone that is an AI driver. Ah, come on, dude. Man, this is gonna be annoying. Oh, I'm still driving, but then 240SX is still ahead of me. So far, so good. And a cross the line. I ain't out of the race just yet. Alright, get back in the race. Get back in the race. That's a taxi cab. That was for underground, bitch. Well, not underground. Not specifically this one, but underground too. Hot dog, the traffic is just ridiculous around here. Crashed himself into a wall. Of course he uses his nitrous to catch up. Oh wow, he got taken out by a traffic car. Or some destruction. Or some sort of pillar or something like that. The bridge. But regardless, there was another win. I think I hate this one. I think this is the one that I hated the most. Yes, it is. It's the one I hated. And I hate this track. I hate it when going the normal route, and I hate it when I go reverse. Lost a little bit of grip right there. He just crashed. That guy crashed right there. That boy just scratched my paint. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I got in front of him and he starts giving me that shit. He's pulling my leg. So that guy's got taken out by traffic. Will this one will this one do the same? No, it's in fact me who got taken out by traffic. I hate this track, dude. Oh, he's got taken out by the tram. Honestly, I think I'll just do the circuit races, the sprints, and the drifts, because I don't, I most likely would get pissed off in regards to the drag races. And that was sick. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually sick. Wow, the guy did the same thing as I did. Crashed into traffic. Rip. Go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on. Nice. Got it. I do apologize. It's that I'm just looking around through Discord. Just trying to read some interesting messages, if anything. If anything, I'm gonna be right back after this race. because I do want to go eat dinner real quickly. But after this race, if anything. Oh, I got rear-ended. So for the most part, Need for Speed, Carbon. I did say that I want to stream that because I've already streamed most of the other Black Box Need for Speed games. I do want to stream that game. I'll probably stream some Undercover as well. I might as well. That's also that's another Black Box game. Albeit it's just more underrated because a lot of people didn't really like the game for what it is. I mean, despite the fact the game has some problems as to why the game is bad, I still find it a decent experience whatsoever. Like, people not liking Undercover doesn't really bother me too much in regards to playing the game. What does bother me, though, in regards to Need for Speed, is that in regards to Black Box game, and in regards to the Black Box games, we have Underground 1 and 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon, Undercover, The Run, and all that stuff. Yet for the most part, from Underground to Undercover, the games are moddable. But yet the problem is that a lot of people are not satisfied with what they get from said Black Box games. And essentially what happens is they end up asking for more of this kind of crap. Of course, this was somewhere around the start of the 2010s, like the early 2010s, if anything, where EA begins restructuring their whole entire business and some of their studios shut down and how they implement DLCs. I've already explained that a little earlier today, or a little earlier tonight. But the problem is that in regards to all of this, like, Black Box Studios made Need for Speed World, which of course is really less mentioned than any other Need for Speed game ever to exist. The only times I've ever heard about that game ever existing was through Mr. X Boss or Kudo HS, and then having to look over at Need for the Soapbox Race World. That game lived only for 5 years. Just for 5 years. 2010, when we had the Hot Pursuit. 2012, when we had the Most Wanted 2012, which is, of course, the Burnout Paradise kind of game that has no car customization. I mean, like, it's it is a little bit bothersome to have a Need for Speed game named by one of the old ones and don't even deliver the same thing that the game has. Of course, Most Wanted 2012 didn't have car customization or a story. It could be quite bothersome, to be quite honest. But realistically, my only problem is just the gameplay physics and mechanics. Not really too bothered on customization, but if you're doing a game that's supposed to live up to the name as to Most Wanted, like EA wanted Criterion to make Most Wanted 2012, and uh, Most Wanted 2012 wasn't exactly as Most Wanted 05 because EA didn't provide enough time to develop any car customization of sorts. Besides, Ghost Game Criterion had to scrap the beta version of Need for Speed to Most Wanted 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they had a build of it, but they never really got to finish it. That's the thing. They never really got to work around on it. Instead, they had to make a whole entire game from scratch, and boom, that's how Most Wanted 2012 exists. That's how we got Burnout Paradise with licensed cars and much more stiff handling and police AI, if anything. But the thing is that people were unhappy about that game because of the car customization. I can understand that, but it was just insane. There was a lot more people who got mad. There was a shit ton of people that got mad over it, and then this translates over to Rivals. Black Panther is one of the few people that has been going through this kind of rubbish for car customization. It needs to be inside of the next Need for Speed game. Like, dude, no, it fucking doesn't. Customization doesn't always have to be in each and every single Need for Speed game. I understand that Most Wanted 2012 didn't live up to the same perspective as Most Wanted 05. That's as simple as it could be. But aside that, you cannot expect every single other Need for Speed game to have a story mode, to have customization and that kind of stuff. You cannot expect it to be any good, hell, any better than what you get from these old games. You just can't. And the thing is, this has been something that has been argued about over and over again. Until we reach into 2015, we actually got Need for Speed 2015, which is car customization and all that kind of stuff. Even some famous people in regards to cars, like Akira Nakai for the RWB, or probably the Midnight Club Street Racing. I'm not too sure. Most likely he was around in that time, but still, Akira Nakai, Ken Block for the Hoonigan series, the Risky Devils for the Drift Train, Magnus Walker for Speed, considering the fact that he drives his Porsche 911 RSR with a lot of speed. And then you got that other one. I want to call it felony because it has to deal with cops. It has to deal with cops. But I'm not too sure who Moroshi is. I'm not sure if he's like one of those few real life figures that has done street racing. Something tells me that kind of person doesn't really exist, but I could be wrong. I just have to do some information in regards to all that. But the thing is that when we get these new Need for Speed games, they were worse. They were mediocre. And that's what a lot of people didn't understand. Is that the games were going to be mediocre one way or another. No matter how much you want to slice it, 2015 was going to be mediocre to garbage. Payback was bad. Payback was a cash grab by EA because of all those parts that you could earn. It takes a while just to grind the cards to be able to spin a roulette wheel just to earn some parts inside of that game for your vehicles. Or you would just look around inside the auto shop and try to find the part that you're looking for. And try to use your in-game currency to buy it, albeit you won't be able to find that specific part that you need for your vehicle. And Heat was decent. Of course, the gameplay wasn't good. It was bad. The story improved a slight bit in comparison to what Payback had. Regardless, Heat was decent. Unbound, I cannot. I cannot get myself into that game whatsoever. Like, the gameplay is kind of a little bit decent, but put it like this: the only thing you can get from the game is decent gameplay. But then you have to look over. It takes you a very long while to understand, to figure out at the end of the day, everything else is garbage. As someone who plays Underground, or as someone who had played Underground back then, never really played it too much on the PS2 because I was a child and didn't know any better. I was inside of elementary and I never really progressed through these games. In the future, I never really saw myself to say, talk about the next Need for Speed game. If I was, I would talk about the Need for Speed games I enjoy the most. That was back then. But I never really got to because I never really had friends who talk about racing games. That's as much as I can say. But the thing is, when it comes to Need for Speed, I don't expect it to have car customization. At least I didn't expect it to have car customization when growing up, because overall, I had to learn at some point that Need for Speed wasn't just based. Need for Speed wasn't about car customization and all that kind of stuff. It had a much more deeper history than that. And if it's not about car customization, then it's whatever. It's whatever. It's how EA goes. But no, apparently everyone is unsatisfied with how Need for Speed is and just cries like babies every single often about this kind of stupid crap. Like, if you can't just, how do I put it like this? If you can't just feel satisfied with what the older games give you, and if you cannot seem to find if you make it seem like you can't find more better ways to play the old games via modding, you can't just call yourself a Need for Speed. You can't call yourself a Need for Speed Underground fan if you just want more Need for Speed games that are based on Underground. Because for the long run of things, the way I see them, it's not getting any better. It is not getting any better than what we previously had. In fact, each and every single new title ends up becoming mediocre to garbage. And guess what? The same thing's going to happen in the next one. I could be certain that's probably going to happen within the near future. After Battlefield Labs, this next Need for Speed title will probably be even more mediocre. Maybe even a little bit more worse than what we have. And I'm not just saying that in regards to the story. I'm also saying that in regards to the gameplay value. The gameplay physics and mechanics. But, yeah, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready to go eat some dinner. So, yeah, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright then, I said I was gonna do some of these, I don't know. I mean, like, I really want to do some of this, but I don't want to do everything all at the same time. It'll take me a very long while. I'll probably just do some of the hardest ones. Actually, no, some of them are reversed, so actually I don't have to worry that much. Oh, said that a little too late, didn't I? Oh well, I already won anyways. Oh wow. Oh, okay. Forgot the shortcut. I forgot it was just like that. I thought it was gonna be a little bit longer. Need for Speed. Libanon is this little Chinatown area of the game. I'm not a big fan as to how you have to race through around it. Traffic car. Traffic car hit me. See, we already completed the lockup. Now we gotta do this one. I hate this section of the map. I'll just do the race and that's just about it. He just knocked himself out. He was right there. So he nearly took me out. Damn taxi cabs. I'll be quite honest when I say this in regards to Underground 2. I've had the shittiest luck of taxi cabs. Like I always get the feeling it's always gonna be the taxi cab that takes me out, if anything. Not just the in-game environment, mind you. Damn it, I was gonna try to squeeze through that small little gap. Oh wait, I forgot, this is underground. Street lamps and trees are not destructible, no matter if they're massive or not. Actually, they never were destructible to begin with. Street lamps, probably, at some certain degree, but not trees.
Boy, fuckface! Where do you think you're going? Get your ass out of my sight!
Hmm. So, big rigs over the road racing is not something I would normally hear, but I might give it a try. Despite the fact as to how bad the game is, it may be bad, but it probably would be funny at the same time. That's what happens when you get in front of me, buddy. What the fuck? Traffic just going through obstacles, like what the hell? Like that's nothing to them. Ninth and Frey and Spillway are the last ones we need to do. And then I'll probably call it a stream. Actually, it'll be the last of it. We just need to figure out in regards to downloading Need for Speed Carbon thing. Because I already made it this far in regards to the black box era of Need for Speed games. I just need to do Carbon. Maybe Undercover, I'm not too sure. Wouldn't want to count on it that much, but probably. Just one more race. Whoops. Slipping through, slip and sliding. Shake and bake. You're not first, you're last. Something that I got from one of the NASCAR radioactives. But in spite of all that, doing so good, so far so good. Okay, I say that, but I end up crashing. And there we go. That is how you do it. That's how you finish off. That's how you do the finishing off. And I've unlocked Melissa's 350Z. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that I could do in regards to this game. But the thing is, I really don't. I mean, like, I would love to, but considering the fact that I've already beaten the game, I don't think there's really a need to just do a stream on it any further. Like, do any more further streams in regards to the games, as far as I could say. Maybe to come back and do a little bit of modding, like play within a mod or something like that, that'd probably be a different story. But until then, it won't most likely be the case. It will most likely be the case until some point later on in the future. Like, if I decided I want to restream some of this, I will, but only time will tell. But, yeah, that's just about it. But with that being said, my name is ICECADE. For those who have stopped by, and for those, whether they were watching the stream or whether they watch the stream after it's already done. Thank you all for watching, and if you're new around here, feel free to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe as per usual. And I'm gonna see about doing some more games as far as I know. So yeah, pretty much just stay tuned to that if you like. No no need to force you or anything like that. But with that being said, I am ICECADE, and I shall see you in another episode. See ya.